Before we get started with today's interview, just a quick reminder, click the thumbs up, make sure you subscribe and ding the bell so that you don't miss any of the great interviews that we have coming up. Now, on to today's interview. Welcome back, everybody. Today, I have a really special guest with me. Today, my guest is composer Wynn-Anne Rossi. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am delighted to have you here.
I'm glad to be here.
Excellent. Next, I'd love to talk to you about your piece, Dark Chocolate Truffle, and what a wonderful piece this is. It was so much fun to sight read it. It begins with this awesome sense of expectation. You haven't actually clearly put the chocolate in your mouth yet, but there's this expectation like this is about to happen. This is here we go. You start off with a 3/4 feel, but then as the anticipation grows, we get into this hemiolid 6/8 feel in measure 5. And then finally, when we get to taste that chocolate, there's this rich sense of richness and comfort that comes across in measure 13. And it's just beautiful. Talk to us a little bit about the process of putting together this composition. And I love the fact that you're trying to draw from a completely different sense of taste and bring that to our ears.
I'm a big believer in those sensations. And I think anything can be communicated through music. So taste, scent, hearing, visualization, taste, touch, all of our senses can be brought forth. And I obviously love dark chocolate. And did I eat chocolate when I was working on this piece? Yes, I did. I had my little bowl of, I think it was Dove, those little Dove dark chocolates. I had some Godiva hearts too. Those might have been part of it. But yes, I was eating chocolate while I was working on this. And I thought about the melting sensation, what it feels like for the melting, and that when it reaches that like height of oh my God, this is good. And that anticipation, all of those things. I loved how you explained it, Sam. You did a great job of like tearing apart the piece and saying, this is when the chocolate goes into the mouth. So yeah, it's definitely inspired by the sensation of having chocolate.
Talk to us a little bit about using the 3/4 feel versus the 6/8 feel. For instance, we see that interplay at measure 17 where it really clearly feels like 3/4 time. And then in measure 18, we have more of a 6/8 feel, that compound meter feel. Talk to us about how we should approach that when we're teaching this piece.
I don't think life is very good at following a time signature. And even the way in which I read music, I'm a decent sight reader, and I don't read it from the standpoint of emphasizing beat one. I listen to the music and ask where those natural accents fall. And often they break up. One of the reasons I love Latin music is because you don't get the straight breakdown of 4/4 or 3/4. You get all kinds of rhythms within rhythms, which are beautiful. And that's how life is as well. So I would say in this piece, we're working with rhythms within rhythms. And that 3/4, I like messing with the accents. So yada da 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 is an arrival. But if you go yada da yada da da, it's two arrivals. You know, you have these different arrival points. I like talking about arrival points because I think it builds up that sense of anticipation. It builds that sense of not being in the moment, but being ready for what's coming and anticipating what's coming. But this piece actually does play a lot with beat emphasis and the cutting up of the 3/4 feel. And that's what makes it sensual in a sense. It messes with being in the moment versus anticipating what's coming.
And you end with a really tall chord. We have this E sharp 11 at the end of this piece, which is sort of, it felt to me like, yes, the chocolate has melted and that moment of consuming it is gone, but the pleasure of having eaten it remains.
Yes.
And talk to us about picking that harmony to end this piece.
Well, again, I trust my sensations of where things are supposed to go, so I didn't plan it. I love ending a piece without a 5-1 feel. I love that feeling that music is not over when the piece ends, and that there is a lingering caffeination, can we call it? A lingering sensation of having had a beautiful experience. I remember somebody saying recently, actually, that those moments that we believe are fleeting in this life are actually the longest lasting because we remember them and we treasure them. A piece may be fleeting in that it has a beginning and an end, but it also has a signature that stays with us and makes our day better. And certainly a piece of chocolate lingers. And I have true confession. I have a piece of chocolate before I teach every day. And I have a little collection of different kinds of chocolates, and I go in and I go, this one is the right one for today. And that carries through my first lesson.
That's wonderful. I love that. That's how my day always ends, is with a piece of chocolate. So
love that. Love that.
Well, Wynn-Anne, thank you so much for taking time to talk with us today and share your wisdom and your insights and your knowledge. We're so incredibly grateful for you to be here today and give so freely of your time. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Sam. And I hope we get to keep contact a little bit more.